Hello and welcome to a new video. In today's video we're going to take a look at a legend team here that I stole from Twitter. So yeah, this is going to be a very interesting team. I want to take a look at this team here because of the Serperior. Serperior is a Pokemon that got quite heavily nerfed this season. Not really because it needed a nerf, but because apparently Aerial Ace was a bit too strong on Pokemon like Manbuzz, and with that Serperior got nerfed as well. But I do think that in the current meta, having a Grass-type Pokemon gives you a lot of benefits, as there are quite a lot of Water and Ground-type Pokemon running around that you really want to counter with it. And this happened here today as well quite often. And what we're going to have here as well is otherwise a very interesting game. We're going to have the Shadow Magnezone and the Shadow Driftblim, like two Pokemon that you don't see all the time either, but that actually work out quite well with each other. And we're going to talk about why this is the case, as you're going to be able to knock out the first opponent here just with two of my three Pokemon. And so we're going to be able to move on to the next one. And here we see one more reason why Magnezone is actually a crazy good lead. We are going to be able to just resist the fast move by Scizor. I think we double resist the fast move by Scizor, which is going to make it a very good answer to this Pokemon, which you need in the current meta. The current meta is quite, around this Pokemon. Like Scizor is very, very good in the current meta. And with that, we are going to be able to go for the full farm on here with our Dusknoir. Why does this team work so nicely? By the way, I don't know if this player was running the move Aerial Ace on their Serperior. This still could have been the case, as there are some reasons why you maybe still want to have Aerial Ace on it. I decided to go for the Leaf Tornado, which is going to have a double debuff chance, which is kind of cool. But there's still reasons for this. But basically, this team kind of suits Magnezone perfectly. It tries to counter really the weaknesses of the Magnezone. Magnezone has the weakness of, I guess, Fire, which you don't really counter too much with this team. You have usually Fire Flying type Pokemon where Magnezone can actually play it out. But we don't have the weakness of Ground type Pokemon. The amount of time that actually I was able to put a Serperior up against something like a Gastrodon or something like a Stunfisk was quite ridiculous. I think Grass type Pokemon is super underrated in the current meta based on what I've seen so far, just because so many people are running Pokemon that are really just getting hardrolled by Grass types because they're not worried about them anymore. And here we see kind of the consequences of this. We are now going to have the Serperior up against the opponent's Talonflame. Talonflame not ideal. I am going to be able to go for the Leaf Tornado, get the shield with it, and I can stop out into my Magnezone, which now will be able to fire off a Wild Charge up against this Florges, which is nearly going to go down, and now one more fast move is enough to knock them out. In comes the Mirror Shot. I don't know if it was better to go for the other move though, for my fast move, but the opponent shields anyway, so it's going to be definitely a good game. There's nothing the opponent can do here in order to win this game anymore, even if they're at 100 energy right now. With Flame Charge, they're still going to need two more fast moves total in order to get to two more charge moves, and this is not going to work out for them, and so we are going to be able to win this battle. So, let's take a look at the next opponent, where we will face the Florges. This is going to be an interesting matchup. While you might think it's going to be a Fairy type against a Steel type Pokemon, it should be really, really good for us. It's not that easy. It is honestly not that easy, but as you see as well, the opponent decides to stop out into their Corsola. Now I have the decision to make. Do I go into my Ghost type or into my Grass type? And the reason why I decided to go into my Ghost type is, of course, that the opponent let the move go through. If they would have used a shield, I would have most likely rather went into my Serperior, but like this I have the option to go for the full farm down, which we would have not been able to do otherwise. And so in comes the Icy Wind, which is kind of neutralizing the damage that the Florges can do here, as Florges is going to only run non-stab moves. We should maybe even be able to survive and hit another hit here. Chilling Water is coming through, we can survive, and we're gonna keep actually the energy as the opponent stops out into a Gastrodon. And while they caught my move here, which was kind of unfortunate, we are actually in a position where we can just fully farm them down with a Serperior, and there is absolutely nothing they can do in order to win this battle now. Body Slam is barely doing any damage, to the point that my fast moves are doing more damage than their fast plus charge moves together, leaving me here with a ton of energy for the next matchup, which is going to be up against that Florges. And what you're going to see as well, I actually wanted to change the moves earlier, and this was the first battle that I did with this team, and I forgot about it here, and so I guess go for the Aerial Ace for the correct, like it doesn't matter, like it really doesn't matter. I know that both moves are going to be enough from this range. I know that Frenzy Punch does more damage and it's the same energy, like I'm fully aware of that, but it's just funny to go for an Aerial Ace. So, Flodges. So we are going to have this one in the lead again. We had seen it just now as well. It is generally a positive lead matchup. I wouldn't classify this as like a bad lead matchup at all, but it's not as strong as you might expect, because like usually fairy type Pokemon are just going to be very strong against it, and hilariously enough, there must be someone who run a team with the Flodges lead and the Scizor of a Unova Stunfisk that we are able to completely destroy, because this is now the second time in a row. No, you're not seeing the same battle again. This is a different battle, and this is kind of hilarious to see for me on how like similar this is going to work out now, as you're going to have here again. Now this time around the Flodge is coming in. I think that was different the last time around. We're actually going to be able to catch the move here, which I didn't want to do. This was not my intention at all. I should have stayed in there, but I expected a potential, what's called, Gastrodon in the back. That's why I stopped out there, but even then we would have been fine. But I didn't want to catch the move there at all. I just wanted to go for my charge move and snipe them. That was my intention of it, but it didn't work out that well. In the back is going to be Dusknoir though. I have a ton of energy on my Serperior. I'm still going to have my Ghost type. We're going to get the shield here. We are going to be able to go for the Astonish down. There's nothing they can do about it. They're just going to get down here. There's nothing they really can do against the damage of our Shadow Drifblim. And we are off to a great start. I actually catch the move here for no reason. Really, it doesn't matter. I win anyway. Really doesn't matter. So we can move on to the next opponent. Just playing here a little bit, I don't know, tricks with the opponent. We're going to have here the Gastrodon in lead. Of course, worst possible matchup for us. We're going to get out the opponent's Dugong here. I can go for the bait, which is going to allow us to get the shield. That's alright. That's okay. We should be alright here, right? We're going to be able to let the move go. But they're going to go for an undercharge, which makes sense for them. We're able to go for the undercharge perfectly, that I don't reach another charge move, which now is going to be a bit more tricky, as of course they're going to have access to the charge move of Drill Run. And because I went for the Icy Wind actually here, they were kind of forcing me to go for a charge move. In hindsight, I think I could have went for the full farm down still, but I couldn't also really risk it, and you saw me here staying in, but at the end of the day, we're just getting completely hardwalled there. Absolutely nothing I could have done. But ending with the Talonflame or leading with the Talonflame, this is going to be interesting, as we are going to use now our Drifblim in order to deal with them. We're going to see the Fly coming through, which we're going to use a shield up against. We're going to have another Shiftry coming in, and with that, we are going to try our best in order to knock them out here with the Icy Wind. This is going to be alright for us, as we're going to see as well another Icy Wind coming in. This is going to try, we're going to try to go for a shield here. This is going to be a foul play. This is totally alright. This Icy Wind is going to be able to get that KO against the opponent, or the final shield, and that's okay for me as well. I can just let the move go now. Shiftry is not really the Pokemon that is threatening me that much right now, because I'm still going to have my Serperior, which has quite a lot of bulk. I can now avoid the matchup against the Talonflame, which is cool. Like, this is a matchup that I wanted to avoid anyway. And now we have to see what they have in the back. It's going to be the Diggersby, and honestly, this is not looking that bad for us. We still have our Talonflame, our Serperior, and the only thing that we have to do now is we have to try to keep energy on my Serperior in order to deal with the opponent's other Pokemon with the opponent's Shiftry. I am not too sure if we're going to be able to do that. The opponent plays it perfectly here though, but actually they swap out onto my charge move, and that is going to seal the deal. There are no two fire punches that would knock us out here, and with them going for a fire punch just before then, there's no way they would be able to outspeed me. They realize it, they forfeit, and we can move on to the next opponent, where we will face the Dugong in the lead. This is generally a very positive lead for us, but it's going to be even better for us when they swap out into a Gastrodon straight afterwards. As now, we're going to have the perfect alignment here with our Serperior trapping the opponent like it's nothing, and we're going to have also, with those matchups here, which you see all the time basically against us ground types, the option to go for the Leaf Tornado later on, which will allow us to have also then an advantage in future matchups. As we see, there's going to be the Dugong coming in here, letting the move go through, which now allows me to go for a Leaf Tornado, seeing if I'm going to be able to fish for that shield, and I'm going to be able to do that, while also getting the attack drop onto them. And now it's only one fast move away of knocking them out. That is perfectly fine. They're going to go for the debuff, alright for me. Diggersby in the back. It doesn't like the matchup against the Drifblim, and with that, we are going to be able to guarantee win this battle. There's nothing they can do in order to win this. My best play is to go for a shield, of course, because now it's time to debuff. It's time for Icy Wind to show why this is such a good move currently still in the meta. It is crazy. As we will see, the opponent has no chance of winning this battle. Fire Punch barely does anything, and with that, we are going to be able to win this battle, and we can move on to the next opponent, where Forretress awaits, and we're going to have, the Corsola coming in. let's see what we can do now. We are going to be able to go for the mirror shot, a move that's going to not do as much as I wanted to. I wish I would have went for the wall charge in hindsight now, but I didn't because I thought the opponent would mostly want to use a shield against such a hard hitting move, but I was wrong, and this is going to maybe bleed into the matchup afterwards. As the opponent decides to use a shield against our Serperior, we're going to be able to also use a shield here, as generally speaking we are going to be able to outspeed the opponent with our charge moves, which is going to allow us to guarantee a line ourselves. Which is cool. That is cool for sure. We know that they're going to have, of course, that Forretress in the back, and I don't really know how to deal with this Pokemon, and so I'm going to go for the Leaf Tornado spam, and I'm not too sure if this is going to be the best way, but I have no idea on what they're running. Either running Earthquake, which is quite commonly seen recently with the fast move of Volt Switch, or are they going to running Sand Tomb, which is mainly seen with a Bug Bite fast move, but both of them make sense, both of them can happen. And as you can see here, I'm just going to go for the Leaf Tornado spam, trying to drop the opponent's attack further and further, and with that they are going to be at, I think, -4 now. We are going to be able to take the hits with that a little bit easier on our flying type. As the Rock Tomb comes through, I am going to try to just now sub out afterwards into my Magna Zone and hope there's a matchup in the back that we can deal with. And as you can see here, there is going to be not a matchup that we can deal with. Literally the worst possible matchup we can deal with. It's going to be the Gastrodon. The Wild Charge is coming through, connecting, doing some solid amount of damage to be fair. And we can use a shield. The thing is here, they're very much like looking into trying to go for something like the, I don't know, like the body slam here in order to knock me out. But I don't know, maybe you can still knock them out here with our next fast move here. But actually we can't. The opponent decides to use like the body slam, it's still going to be enough. Even though it's debuffed, even though it's double resisted, it's not going to work out for us. Next opponent, Great Lead Force, Scizor in the lead, and they forfeit. They, I guess, were not prepared for the Magna Zone. Next up, we're going to have the Drifblim up against a Magna Zone. That is not ideal, but funnily enough, while they subbed into this matchup thinking they have a great advantage here, this is not really the case, and I could take advantage of... Okay, I do take advantage of the situation generally, and now it depends on what I want to do. I go straight into my Serperior, and I have no idea why I did this. Like, why did I lock myself into this matchup? This is the worst possible matchup I did, and there's like still 6 seconds left on the clock on top there. I have no idea why I tried to do that. I don't know on how I am able to recover from that. My only win con here, I guess, is to not go for this mirror shot, actually. Or I get the shield, actually. If I get the shield, it's alright as well. I do get the shield. There's still maybe a hope. I would need to shield and farm them down in time, or be able to stop out and knock them out, but I can't stop out yet. And I go for the charge move, and that is a mistake. I don't know why I did this. I needed to go for the farm down. I don't think I would have been able to get the farm down done because of the boosted damage on them. But that was like, this loses me the game immediately. I guess my play here is now to try to debuff the opponent as much as possible, which then allows me maybe to get to another move there. But as you see as well, they go for payback, which doesn't make sense. They go for air cutter, like what the hell. But we see here as well, as long as they keep energy, they won. Like they won. There's nothing I can do. I'm not going to be able to hit them at all with the Leaf Tornado Serperior. Dropping the attack is kind of funny and all, but it's not going to work out at all. We're going to try to go for the kind of swap there. I don't know what I wanted to do. I tried to catch maybe an air cutter or something, but there's nothing that I could have done here in order to win this good game there. I don't know. I played it a bit weird there at the end, but let's move on to the next opponent, where we will face off against our main nemesis, Mangano. I know it's a Pokemon that you don't really expect. It's a great Pokemon though. I like this Pokemon a lot. I think it's a great Pokemon to have. I hit Legend with this Pokemon last season. So me saying that that's a bad Pokemon or whatever would be an absolute lie. This Pokemon is fantastic and it's going to be fantastic against this team. Because this team is absolutely not designed to deal with this Pokemon. It is absolutely not designed to deal with this Pokemon. But this is the thing as well. This is what you're always going to see in my videos as well. It's just like those matchups that don't go like planned. Like you're always going to see losses with this team. And that's alright. And this is exactly what I kind of want to do here as well. I always kind of want to give you, of course, the actual way the teams go, because this is the only way of me being able to be honest to you as well with that. And if a team has like a weakness or whatever, I don't really see the point of being like, oh yeah, that's the best team ever, there's no answer to this team. There are answers to this team. Mangano is an answer. Talonflame lead is going to be a bit tricky to deal with as well, or even the back is going to be a bit difficult to deal with it. That doesn't mean that a team is bad though. This is what I always call calculated risk, where teams can still perform even if they maybe don't have all the matchups perfectly done, because it's calculated that you might take those losses, but you're still going to be able to win most of the matches. And that's exactly on how this team kind of functions. That's why I still would recommend you this team. Here, for example, yes, Serperior does lose against the grass and flying type Pokemon. It's not a shocker. Like, it's really not a shocker. And this is going to be it for this one. Hopefully you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to leave a like. Great team to run. And I'll see you then. Bye-bye.